Paris, police reform activists say yesterday's guilty verdict in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was a moment of relief and catharsis almost a year after the killing of George Floyd. But many say it is just the tip of the iceberg for police accountability. In Chicago, some are calling for new limits to the police department's foot pursuit policy after an officer shot and killed 13-year-old Adam Toledo last month. And a coalition of groups are pushing an ordinance that would establish civilian oversight of the CPD. Joining us with more are Arewa Karen Winters of the group Justice for Families. She also co-chairs a community working group assembled last summer to examine CPD's use of force policies. Jasmine Salas, co-chair of the Chicago Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression. And Eric Wilkins, an organizer with Communities United, which was involved in establishing the federal consent decree overseeing CPD. Now, we did invite the Chicago Police Department to join this conversation, but did not immediately hear back on our request. Arewa Karen Winters, let's start with you, please. What was your reaction to yesterday's verdict out of Minneapolis?
It's almost undescribable, but I was very overjoyed. I mean, my heart sang because so often we have very similar circumstances, but not the same outcomes. And so it was a victory for the people. And justice did, I say truth prevails, but that doesn't always mean that justice prevails along with it. And yesterday, justice prevails. And I am so grateful for that.
Eric, you've worked on police reforms here in Chicago for years. What did the verdict mean to you?
Yeah, I agree with Arewa that it felt good. It felt good to see it, but knowing that there's so much more work that has to be done here in Chicago, where Blue Lives Matter is a little bit different than Minnesota. So I think we're gonna have a harder task on making it right.
In what way do you think it's harder here in Chicago?
I mean, the code of silence it's been done for years. The John Burge era. My big brother was a part of the John Burge era. He did 25 years. It's a code that they live by. And my family witnessed it firsthand.
Jasmine, your group is pushing for the Empowering Communities for Public Safety Plan, or ECPS, which would establish civilian oversight of CPD. What exactly would that do?
ECPS would give the communities in Chicago a say in who controls our police accountability system. Currently, all of the key positions like the COPA administrator, as well as the superintendent of police, are appointed by the mayor. And we feel like people in the community should have a decisive voice over who's leading the system, as well as over police policy. And ECPS would put a binding referendum on the ballot in 2022 for voters who want more democratic control over the Chicago Police Department, including funding as well as appointing other positions.
Arewa Karen Winters, what specific reforms could the Chauvin trial lead to here in Chicago?
Well, I'm glad that Eric lifted up about our code of silence, because what we saw in Minnesota was the police department came out and they said that, wasn't their training, some aspects of it were their training, but that he did use excessive force. I've never seen that, happen here in Chicago, where police officers come out and speak against, fellow police officers. But, we're talking about Chicago as one of the oldest modern policing systems in the world. And so it's a very antiquated system. And we understand that the origins of it, derived from, slave patrol, slave catchers. So you can't separate a thing from its origin or its history. So and we know they didn't dismantle that system, that some parts of our current system still operate in that racist framework that was not to serve nor protect people, nor to keep people safe. It was to dehumanize people, to enslave people, and to harm people. And so I don't care how many Black officers they hire, brown officers they hire, women officers they hire, until, that is done away with completely and totally. This is gonna be our forever fight. We're gonna continue to be in these predicaments. And the other thing is they don't share power with community voices. They will not share power with us. And so we're between a rock and a hard place here in our city.
Now, Mayor Lightfoot said that she is working to draft her own police oversight bill, but it has yet to be introduced in City Council. Here's what she said today.
We're talking about the most consequential change in policing maybe ever in Chicago. There's a lot of conversations that need to be had. Those conversations are happening. They may not be visible to folks, but I think we're getting close to being ready to provide an alternative proposal for consideration of the City Council.
Jasmine, do you think parts or any of the mayor's proposal would satisfy parts of your own?
No, not at all. I think Lori Lightfoot has shown herself to stand with the police. She has defended crooked cops and defended their behavior as they have brutalized protesters like they did last summer. And so I don't trust her to make our police accountability system more democratic. And the fact that she scolded Alderman Byron Cicho Lopez today on the City Council floor shows that she is completely opposed to any kind of police accountability that gives the community a decisive say in CPD policies, and that's not right.
Eric, do you think civilian oversight of CPD would lead to meaningful changes in how the department polices Black and brown communities in particular?
Yes, I believe it would, but with this systemic racism that goes on, they can't allow it to happen. You know, I talk with guys who are our officers and who are not in the community that they should be in. You know, when you first think about officers, you want somebody that look like you. In Roseland, none of the officers, majority of the officers don't look like us. You know, so if you don't, how can you change something if you don't come in friendly to change? You know, they're overseers. They're not officers, they're overseers. They ask questions and expect answers. You know, and we would talk younger to just answer them and let them do it because they're going to do what they want to do anyway. You know, having smaller children and having two young Black males, 9 and 5 years old, you know, it's kind of scary because it's.
So, sorry, I was just going to ask Arewa. So you're the co-chair of CPD's Use of Force Community Group. Last time you spoke with us, the department accepted only 5 out of more than 150 recommendations made by the group. Have you made any more progress in recent months?
Well, we are still, you know, at that time, like I said, we weren't in negotiations, but we are in negotiations. And it is not because of the police department. It is because of independent monitor Maggie Hickey strongly suggested that we stay in conversations about, you know, some of the recommendations that we were making. So we haven't received a full summary yet as to, you know, where we have actually landed. But the next topic is foot pursuits. And I just want to say that the coalition who works within the consent decree, we gave a draft in 2019 or October 2019. But unfortunately, you know, our mayor has not, you know, met with us to speak with us for some dialogue and engagement. And so it went unheard. And I said, maybe had that conversation started in 2017 when we strongly suggested that they have a foot pursuit policy in place. Maybe we could have avoided, you know, Adam Toledo and Mark Navarez and Anthony Alvarez, but it did not happen because, again, they're not listening to the people. So here we are.
Here we are, and that's where we'll have to leave it. My thanks to our guests, Arewa Karen Winters, Eric Wilkins, and Jasmine Salas.
Thank you.